future of virtual motorsports is now. This September, the heart of sim racing beats in Chicagoland as the Sim Gaming Expo takes over the Schaumburg Convention Center, September 5th through the 7th. Go wheel to wheel in our competition area, test the latest gear, meet top brands, creators, and celebrate with fellow sim racing enthusiasts. Whether you're a seasoned sim racer or new to the sport, this is your chance to be part of history. To purchase tickets and see the full exhibitor lineup, visit simgamingexpo.com.
Hello again, everyone. I am Gary Gonzo, and welcome to P1's broadcasting of Round 7 of Season 8 of the longest continuous rerunning DW12 series on iRacing Today. It's the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by The Joy of Driving, coming to you tonight from Legacy, Michigan International Speedway for our third of 4 250-mile races this season. It is the Joy of Driving 250. And the field is underway right now on the pace lap. We do have the starting lineup, and we're just going to jump right on into this before I introduce the catalyst, Andrew Wood. It is Peterson with another pole. He is on the front row with Pobolones, then Murphy and Wagner. Our points leader on the inside of row 2. Wagner on the outside of row 2. Forsyth and Brubacher back on row 3. Gilherme and Schlotterbeck back on row 4. Teed and Lovern back on row 5. Moving on down through the grid. Schaus, our defending series champion, and Hobson back on row 6. Anderson and Marcamini, row 7. Hayes and Pahutsky, row 8. Nunez and Heisong, row 9. Johnson and Stearns on row 10. And I think we got one more. That's it. That is it. Only 20 are taking. There they are. Kirkenbauer and Stouffer. Ooh, watch those two come from the back. And Jomo from the back in row 12. And that is your 23-car field. Getting ready to take the green flag here tonight at Legacy, Michigan International Speedway. As always, joining me in the booth is the catalyst, Andrew Wood. Andrew, good to have you here. We're getting ready to go green. Do we go 7 for 7 with 7 different winners to start this season? Considering the points leader, Murphy, has not even won a race yet this year.
I think we go 7 for 7 tonight, Gary. Thank you for having me again. I missed the last race at Auto Club, but I heard it was a fantastic race, but I'm so happy to be back here with you today. Let's see if Murphy can get it done and stamp his authority on that points lead as we go green.
Oh, look at JB. Big move on the outside.
That was, wow. I hope he didn't jump that start there, Gary. I believe he might have just timed it absolutely to the .001 reaction time there to make the move, but unfortunately, look what's happened. He's fallen out of line, fallen out of the draft, and he might be falling even farther back from where he started from. So a little bit advantageous and fun to look at, but it could spell trouble for him at the end of the first lap here.
Well, there were 3 wide, 2 spots back by P3. Now we're 2 by 2 coming off the corner. We're stacked 3 wide, 2 deep for about 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. But your leader after lap 1 is our points leader, Mark Murphy.
No surprise, Schaus really going forward on that first lap there. This is one of his favorite kind of tracks. These very, very high speed, high drafting situations. Placed himself right in the middle. Now he's going to the outside, and he could be looking at possibly a top 3 position coming out of it.
4 wide off of 4. Wow, still 4 wide off of 4. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow.
I'm scared to finish that statement, Gary, because I'm like, I think they're going to get through it, and they actually did. So, Gary, it's lap 3 of a 125-lap race, and people are racing like we're coming to the checkered flag here. This can only spell trouble if things don't calm down a little bit.
It's like the MAV 500 from 2015.
we always kind of complain a little bit, behind the scenes saying, man, everything just turns into a fuel save race. Everyone's just kind of laying back and everything. And folks, what you're seeing right now is what happens when people don't fuel save. So if you're ever wondering if the experts like Gary and I can call when a fuel save race is happening, you can visually see what happens when everybody's going for it. So let's see if we reset the field based on how things went for that little bit there. Murphy has gotten to the lead, and Peterson, our pole sitter, hanging in there in second place. Eric Schaus, like I mentioned, last couple laps, he's now moved up into sixth place from his 11th place starting spot. And I don't see any bit of calming down yet, Gary. We're still 3 wide in the middle of the pack here.
We are 80% fuel, so I'm wondering if we're just going to see a bunch of 25-lap stints. And if that's the case, they could push pretty hard, knowing that they could come to pit road sooner rather than later and throw a new set of tires on.
I'm looking at someone that might be a fuel saver from the front. Yari, he had that bit of a bad start there, but he's dropped back to 16th place now, and he might be saying, I am not getting involved in this mess. Maybe I could do what I can to save some fuel back here, and he might be thinking long game, but we'll have to see how that plays out. Let's keep an eye on Yari.
Gary Lover in purple lap that time by 2:25.2. Murphy's keeping it glued to the bottom of the old IRL line here. He's down the bottom. We're going to go 3 wide into turns 3 and 4. It is Murph. It is Schaus. It is A.J. Hobson up top.
Just took a look at the weather conditions. We didn't really talk about them too much, but it does seem like a little bit of a cooler track here, which bodes well for this pack race situation you see going on. A little bit more grip and a little bit more opportunity for cars to run side by side, and we see that happening here. So I think that's the case as we continue to watch this mangy battle up the front.
Mangy battle. Okay, so let's say you're in one of these cars. Let's say you're back where, let's say, Stouffer is. P9 in the middle of the group there. What are you telling you? What are you saying to the cars around you in your mind? Just hold your line. Don't be so jerky. Be predictable. What are your thoughts here? Just to maybe fall back? What are you thinking now? Because we're still a lot of chaos here.
We got an incident. I think that might have been a Nick Cody type deal between Eric Anderson and Hobson there.
2 STP type liveries into the wall. Hobson and Anderson. And Anderson might be able to get that car. I don't know if he's going to be able to get that car back around to answer the pit road.
No, Barry, he got spit out into that barrier. That was actually a very, very violent type wreck that I actually don't see the physics in that one, if you had to explain it myself, but let's take a look at it.
So there we see Anderson on the outside. And I think he just kind of gets collected up into it from Hobson. Something happens to Hobson earlier. Anderson, I think, just kind of innocently kind of rolls into the zone. Yeah, that's kind of what happened there. But what we want to do is we want to go back a little bit further here on this replay and see what happened.
Vitor gear, and that might be the vehicle that unfortunately had contact with Hobson there. Let's take a look.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a swipe there at the left rear pod and into the wall. So they're going to tow and get the fast repair. There is a fast repair in this league. We'll go over the rule set real quick, but they're going to tow and ultimately go down a lap or two as a result of that tow, but there's no way they're driving those wrecked cars back to the pits. And everyone's coming to pit road.
Everybody at Indy Kirkenbauer decided to stay out, and could be a good move, especially as Indy started towards the back there. So gives an opportunity for Indy to hang out at the front a little bit and see what kind of transpires next. And I feel like we're going to see a similar kind of very heavy battle as we saw in the last stint. So I wouldn't be surprised if Indy falls back a little bit with a little bit more worn tires than these folks that stayed or took their pits up. We'll have to take a look and see.
And we'll take a look here at the reset the field. Today's rule set, this is, of course, a fixed setup race. 80% fuel, unlimited tires, one fast repair. A number of drivers have gone to that already, 2 at least. We have a pit road speed limit of 55 miles per hour. We're doing 120 laps, 250 race miles on a 2-mile D-shaped oval. Between USAC Kart and the Indy Racing League, 56 races have taken place at Michigan International Raceway. 56 IndyCar races have taken place here. The first race was held in 1968, and then after that, at least one race per year was held annually, starting in 1970 and running continuously until IndyCar's final race in 2007. 22 races were 500-mile races, with the first 500-mile race occurring in 1981 to replace Ontario, which was dropped from the schedule. Prior to 81, the longest IndyCar race ever held at Michigan was only 200 miles, if you can believe that. IndyCar has not returned since 2007, despite fan outcry to add it back to the schedule. The existing track records, well, Paul Tracy still has the overall track record with a speed of 2:34.9. The IRL track record set by Thomas Scheckter in 2003 with a speed of 2:22.4. The career wins leaders here at Michigan, and this concludes both 500-mile and non-500-mile races. So we got Johnny Rutherford with 4, one of which was a 500-mile race. Gordon Johncock with 4, one of which was a 500-mile race. Bobby Unser with 3, Mario Andretti with 3, Rick Mears with 3, Bobby Rahal with 3. Only 2 wins for A.J. Foyt here. Michael Andretti with 2, Scott Goodyear with 2, and our good pal Tony Kanaan with 2, and he's the only one to have 1 in kart and have 1 in the Indy Racing League. Speaking of Indy, he is your leader right now. Indy Kirkenbauer, the prodigy, is currently leading this field. Turner Johnson is second. They opted not to stop on pit road. They opted for that track position, which is going to be pretty valuable, and we'll have Andrew talk about that here in just a second. But off of pit road, the race off of pit road was Forsyth, Murphy, Schaus, and Peterson rounding out the remainder of that top 5, and we're going green next time by.
I missed what I have to talk about. I'm sorry.
Track position, the importance of it, especially in this style of race.
Well, that's just basically it. Like, we saw what the field was doing for those first 7 or 8 laps there we had on the green. So track position does seem like a nice thing, but you have a better chance of staying with the pack at the front if you are at the front. Whereas if you're someone like Guillerme or AJ or Casey Pahutsky outside the top 10, if someone has a bad restart, it's a little more difficult to hang with the pack and stay with the cars ahead of you. So on a cooler day like this, it might be easier to catch back up again, but mostly you want to be at the front to make sure you're in that front pack.
And Schaus taking a shot on the outside here of Murph going into 1 at this restart. Murph is going to stay down low. He has a car that's apparently working very well for him on the low side today.
You could definitely see the visual of what I was just speaking of. The top 3 have completely broken away from the pack, and that's kind of what the ultimate goal is when you stay out like this. It's saying, okay, I have less fuel, I have a better chance of running away from the whole entire field if the cars behind me have a bad restart. And it looks like from 4th on back, they did have a bad restart. So they're ahead right now, and that staying out has helped, but this big, huge pack of cars are all working together and going much faster than the cars ahead. So give it 4 or 5 laps, and you'll see that pack catch up to that group of 3 up there. And we'll have to see if it is a good situation for those guys that stayed out.
And while we're watching this battle in the mid-pack, here are the dark horse points for this season. You see Murph with the lead over Schaus, our defending series champion. Schaus with the opening win this season. Eric Peterson with the win. He is 3rd. Matt Wagner with the win. He is 4th. Turner Johnson is up in 5th in points. He has no win this season. Teed, 6th in points, no win this season. Pahutsky, 7th in points, no win this season. We should watch them. And we got a big crash. Big crash while we're showing you the points. And involved there is Say Hey Lewis Hayes. We'll go back and watch it as he continues to cartwheel like a gymnast down the backstretch and on his lid. And we're going to go back and check this out while we were talking about the points. And the wreck is already in motion there. Looks like LGN might have been involved here, but here we go. We're in this third group of cars, and they are all tightly bunched together going through 1 and 2. And Schlotterbeck is leading that group And what happens
Look at Matt Wagner coming through the middle of this pack right before the incident happened. He would have had a high chance of being collected if he did not do that risky move he did.
And Brubacher, who we were talking about rolling into the back of the field to maybe find some safety back there, he's involved. He looks like he might be able to drive it back. Also involved, we have... let's see. Joseph Morales makes it through. Will Stearns is involved. Luis Gonzalez Nunez is going to come and get the fast repair. Haisong made it through. Mark Amini made it through. Povolonis made it through. So just a handful. We got Nunez, Stearns, Brubacher, and Lewis Hayes showing meatballs right now. So they will be coming to pit road or getting the tow to pit road as we are back under caution again.
And Matt Wagner definitely found his way through that pack. That was a very, very small gap he found his way through there. And I don't know if that maybe upset the balance of what people were seeing around them that could have caused them to be looking more at Wagner's car than the track ahead of them. And that's unfortunate for those guys. But, yeah, Matt Wagner definitely dodged the bullet in that instance.
That looks like Eric Anderson is getting the lucky dog here. So he will get the wave around. There is a lucky dog in this series. Of all the NASCAR gimmicks, I think the lucky dog is my most favorable. Not to say that the lucky dog is the absolute thing that I love, but I do like the fact that it gives, especially early in a race, that someone that had to go in and execute the fast repair an opportunity to get a lap back and put themselves in a position where they can possibly get back on the lead lap and become a threat here one more time before this race is over. Otherwise, they would have to race the hard way to get those laps back. But Eric Peterson now one lap down in the order. And if there is another caution, he will get that wave around again and be back on the lead lap next time we have a caution. But all those that stayed out last time, Andrew, they came in, so they weren't going to roll the dice any more than just one more caution past where everyone else pit. They came down pit road, but staying out for this one, quite a few. Vitor, Teed, Stouffer, Slaughterback, and Pahutsky all pitted at lap 10. They stayed out for this one.
Definitely jumbling up the field a little bit, but we'll definitely see some shuffling as we go back to green again. So that advantage that Indy and Turner Johnson were hoping at the start there has now been flipped the other way. And they'll be with the full tanks and hoping that the cars ahead of them that stayed out have a little less fortune after we go back to the green flag conditions again.
And we are going to go green next time. Bye. Thanks for joining us. If you enjoy our coverage of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by The Joy of Driving and you respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so you don't miss out on future P1 iRacing broadcasts. Tonight's Michigan 250 and the Dark Horse Racing Series is brought to you by The Joy of Driving. Follow Mark Cohn's Sim Racing Adventures full of sharp driving and sharp wit. Subscribe on YouTube or follow on Facebook. All the links you need are in the description. Tonight's races are also brought to you by 4D Racewear and Sim Wrap Market. Be sure to check them out. 4D's Racewear's line of made for sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com. Click on the link in the schedule, and you can also check them out at the Sim Gaming Expo in September 5th through 7th in Schaumburg, Illinois. Check out simgamingexpo.com to buy tickets or to learn more today. And also, SimRack Market is your go-to resource for iRacing paint templates and broadcast resources. SimRack Market has everything you need to build your brand on track. Visit simrackmarket.com. Download, customize, race. Going green this time by lap 18. Still in the early stages. Come on, guys. Let's go get situated here. Let's go racing.
I think we'll get ourselves situated here. It just takes a few cautions to kind of get some things out of the way. Necessarily. So I think this is going to be the one, Gary. I think we're going to actually get some green flag running here. The guys now understand what they're dealing with, and we'll have a good run here. I have some good feeling about it.
And in the quest to go 7 for 7, a modern IndyCar record is 7 for 7.
Oh!
Wow!
Okay.
And that was a big run by Teed, who gives the boot to Vitor, who goes up the racetrack, and he's trying to get to the bottom while everyone else is at 220 plus trying to get around him.
I think that was. Oh, he's right in the middle of the track now. My goodness, how everyone got through
It's
that.
like the Red Sea. Let's go back about a lap and check that out.
We have another. Almost happened again in turn 4 with AJ Hobson, and I believe that was Schaus that was coming through there. AJ gave him a little bit of a touch, but it didn't seem to affect him too much.
Yeah, watch, he just closes. I don't know if, watch this again, he just gets a big run down the backstretch. There's a little bit of a lead by Vitor. Vitor, I don't know, had the lift maybe a little bit going into the corner, or he just had, Teed had such a head of speed, and then Vitor just continues to come down on the racetrack, maybe not watching his mirrors, or maybe just taking a gamble that Teed is just going to do nothing but, to keep the car off him, and Teed just had a head full of steam, and the door shut on him, and there was no place to go, and they were lucky that didn't turn into a bigger incident. I'm
afraid that there's no live stewards in this, but if I had seen that as a live steward, that Marlboro car would be penalized immediately. That was definitely not. It's not NASCAR where you could bump and slide someone out of the way. So it's unfortunate for Vitor there, who was leading the race and got turned there. So that's unfortunate. But this pack here, this second group with Eric Schaus and Forsyth and everyone, they have been inches away from each other for the last couple laps, and I really hate to say that we're going to see another caution here. I hope these folks can figure it out.
Schaus just took that. He heard in his headset, clear low, and he just said, okay, I'll take it.
So it looks like, Gary, we have 3 distinct groups right now. We have the top 3 up front, and then about 6 folks that were battling in this pack that don't really seem to be moving forward too much, and then you have the rest that are all still going 2 and 3 wide through turn 1 and 2 right now. And there's some folks in this group that don't want to be in this group, and they're really trying to fight hard to make sure that they move forward, but there's no one that wants to lead this. And when you have a swap draft situation with a pack, you have to decide 2 cars that are going to pull you forward.
This lead group of 3, that is AJ Schlotterbeck. He is your leader. Teed, one of the admins of this league, is second. Christopher, with a win already this season, is third. Stouffer won at the last race at Auto Club, which is pretty much an identical racetrack that is a little bit flatter. That second group is catching. That second group is reeling them in very, very slowly.
I'm watching Group 3 while you watch Group 2 there, and Matt Wagner has gotten to the front of this group, and he's hoping that someone's going to swap draft with him. But, again, there's too many cars in this group, and everyone wants to get ahead. And no one wants to be stuck behind for when the chairs get pulled out of the musical chairs game. So I think Casey might want to be the swap draft folk with them. But Will Stearns looked like he was trying to also get ahead a little bit. So it's in everyone's best interest to kind of just save a little bit of fuel, just hang out, don't get too crazy, and let this group work. But you're right, that the second group has caught that first group again. We got a group of, 9 cars up here or so, and I do think that this third group will eventually catch up once they get their act together. They look like they're a little bit more organized now than they were about 2 or 3 laps ago, so let's see if this works out. And then the fourth group, there really isn't a fourth group. Never mind. I'll just
We got a group of 2 in the back there, and that is we got AJ Hobson in the middle of this group too. He's back in 22nd, 2 laps down. He's just trying to hang on and stay close to the front, and hopefully he's kind of really hoping for 2 more cautions here, 3 more cautions. That will get him back on the lead lap. The next caution will bring Eric Anderson back on the lead lap, and then Hobson will be the first car 2 laps down. But I should take that back. Vitor Guilherme, there he is riding by himself. He is 1 lap down right now, so he would actually be the next car if 2 cautions from now to get back on the lead lap. Anyways, enough of trying to do timing and scoring in my head and screwing things up. That group has now caught the leaders, and we have ourselves a big fracas up at the front.
Yeah, the second group's losing ground, unfortunately. They're doing 32-0, 32-1. That front pack, as disorganized as they are, all in the 31s.
Teed slide up the racetrack there and almost collected Schaus.
Schaus, our second place in the points right now. He's really hoping that he could just kind of hang out in this pack here and get himself a good finish. Schaus is a previous winner this season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, he won the opening. And we're going to go 4 wide down the backstretch, and we're going to run out of room at some point coming through this corner. But here we go. Schaus up high. He just got a big run, sticks the car there, and it is going to hang on. But here comes Indy Kirkenbauer thinking about taking a 4 wide as well. And we come out of that corner, and that could have been a whole lot worse, but they did a great job.
This pack here is still doing 32s, and they're losing ground every lap. Yeah, that last lap, actually, some of the guys did pretty well, but still need to be faster than that group ahead in order to catch them and track them down. And so far, it seems to be very stable between the two groups from what I'm seeing.
We got gaps up on the screen, and so you see that next group behind. This is an 8-car pack, 9-car pack actually, and it has A.J. Hobson in it, but he is 1 lap down. He is right there in this blue, and I would circle it, but my telestrator is not working today, but he is at light blue car down on the bottom now. He's trying to get one of his 2 laps back right now. And the next group of cars behind is about a second and a half, and it's currently led by Will Van Stearns. Not in the Van Halen outfit today, though.
I'm watching the second group here, Gary, as you're watching the first one, and still no one can decide who wants to lead. There's 2 cars that lead and swap for a bit, then 2 more cars get a head of steam and decide they want to lead, and I'm listening to the radios. There's a lot of angry folks in this second group, and that's not going to help anybody. So they're maintaining, though. It's not like they're falling back and losing a ton of time, but there needs to be some more order and more give and take with a bunch of groups here. So we'll have to see how this continues to play out. But that first group looks a lot more organized just from watching it from far behind.
Lap 33 of 125. Everybody, well, we got a couple of different strategies going on. The guys that stopped on lap 10, and there's about 5 of them out there. It is Slaughterbeck, it is Teed, it is Stouffer, it is Pahutsky, one of which was Vitor, but he had to come to pit road with damage after he kind of got nudged out of the way a little bit. They are 23 laps into their stint. I suspect that these guys, even with some caution laps, they're going to have to come in here before we get to 30, somewhere around 30, and then in their stint, that's what I mean in their stint. So about another 6 laps or so. That gets us to 40. Then that will get them, if they could do another 25 after that, they're still looking at 2 more stops probably.
Probably 2 more stops, you're right, especially with how hard everyone's running. There's not a lot of fuel saving going on in this race
there's
whatsoever.
Not. And this second group is catching. The second group is catching.
I was just going to mention, it looks like Wagner and Murphy have managed to take control of this pack here. A couple more people have interfered along the way, but I think we have an incident here.
Contact! And that is Johnson and Will Van Stearns, and they just kind of do a little bit of a wheel rub, a little bit of a side check into the wall. We're still rolling.
I don't know how that was not an incident. There were 4 cars that all hit each other on the side, and somehow everyone is still pointed in a straight direction, though there's probably some damage to a couple of cars, I would imagine. But regardless, like we were mentioning last lap, that group is starting to catch. Eric Peterson's kind of hanging at the back of that first pack, which is kind of the liaison between the 2 of them. So once Murphy, Luis, or Wagner start to catch that draft, they will start to be pulled in by them and then bring the whole group with them. But you're right, we were talking about fuel a little while ago, so we're probably going to go about, 42 laps, I believe is what you said?
Yeah, I think the guys that stopped on lap 10 are now 27 laps into their stint. I suspect that they only have about anywhere from 3 to 5 laps worth of fuel because we had a couple of cautions in that time frame. Yeah, they're going to have to come to pit road here real soon. Probably in sometime after lap 40, 41, 42, somewhere in there.
It looks like about like in the late 40s or so. We're going to start trying to consider our pit stops, but I think so that'll bring it to about 75 laps to go. So yeah, we're probably gonna have to go to at least lap 50 if we're going to start considering our 2 stops from here. First pack still is kind of running 3 wide, 3 deep or so. Maybe a little less jointed than that, but that second group is, it's very interesting to watch kind of the accordion. Oh, we have someone spinning.
Oh, and it's all the leaders up front. Oh, and we're watching from Murph's point of view.
Too soon.
And we see Lovern and Forsyth and Peterson and Stearns again and AJ Slaughterback. They all have meatball flags, but let's take a look and see what happened. We were doing it from the perspective of Murph. We were riding with him.
Oh, no, we have an apron bad situation, I'm afraid, Gary.
All right, so let's try to figure this out here. And we'll start around Forsyth. I think that's kind of where it started to kind of fall apart, unfortunately. And let's
So our leader,
AJ Slaughterback. Let's check with him now. And this is with AJ Hobson. Oh. And Hobson was not giving him a lot of room, and it kind of spooked AJ to the apron. He goes down and tees and just tips. Oh, jeez. Oh, and again, this is all happening in front of that whole second pack as they just drive into it. So I think what happened is that Hobson was trying just to hold his line, and AJ was spooked that he didn't get a lot of room on the bottom and clipped the apron. And just as you mentioned, apron bad. And there you go.
apron very much indeed bad, Gary. I know that very well from a race I had earlier today, which we were talking about before this race began. And it can happen to anybody. So that wreck was.
Oh, and we got black flags.
Back.
We have black flags on the racetrack right now. Schaus has a black flag, and so has Pahutsky for some reason. But they are going to still come out shown as the leaders. So I think everybody around the pace car is going to get a wave around.
I believe I was listening to some radio chatter. It looks like there might have been some confusion with iRacing and the pace car. So I believe that they're going to clear a bunch of black flags here. I don't know what triggers that necessarily, but it has to do, I believe, with how the how the pace car comes out in relation to some incident occurring near the pit lane, if I'm not mistaken. I actually saw this in a race last week as well, and we were confused as to how this happens, but it does happen. And I believe that the admins flags. It's like Indy Kirkenbauer's stopped on the track right now. Oh, and now he's moving again. Yeah, it looks like just some confusion about who is placed where. So the admins will sort it out. We may have to go an extra lap or something like that. Let me watch Casey Pahutsky because he's one of the ones with the black flag. Maybe I can figure out if there's.
He is still shown in first position right now by timing and scoring.
I'm trying to figure out. I'm going back and watching it myself. Okay, so Where's Pahutski? I was looking at Pahutski a second ago on my side. Say Pahutski was the leader. Pahutski passed the pace car and didn't wait for the pace car and managed to come into the pits. So that just pretty much gives everyone a black flag, or gives Pahutski a black flag for passing the pace car, but then everybody has to get wave around. So Pahutski is definitely at fault for that ordeal, and got a worthy black flag. However, everyone's going to have to wave back around to catch up to Pahutski again. I hope that made sense to everyone watching.
So it is Pahutski, Schaus, Stouffer, Povolonis. We've gone, we extended the caution to sort things out. I think everyone is going to get a wave around. I think that's kind of what they're sorting things out right now.
Everybody is going to get a wave around, and Pahutski is going to have to serve a black flag, I believe.
So yeah, this is one of those weird deals that you mentioned this before, and I've seen this before also. When half the field is by the start-finish line when the caution comes out, and the other half isn't past the start-finish line when the caution comes out. And then all of a sudden, when the pace car comes out, you're kind of between. It's kind of between two groups, and it really throws iRacing off sometimes. The other times you kind of see stuff like this happen. Cautions coming to full course cautions coming to the green flag, for instance, or right as the green flag falls, cars start collecting each other. And we're not going green this time by. We're going to go another lap as they get things sorted out here. But we've seen this before, and this is a continuing iRacing, I don't want to say problem. It's just a known issue that we kind of all tolerate. And this is kind of what happens is when sometimes when an accident happens, it just happens in a bad spot on the field and on the racetrack.
Unfortunately, sometimes it gets a little jarred up when an incident happens near the pace car coming out, or the pit is, because it looks like both Pahutski and Eric Schaus both have extended all the way past the pace car, pitted on the next lap, and now they're showing a little bit lap ahead. So all the drivers are confused.
And here we go. Here we got the wave arounds happening. There goes Stouffer. There goes Povolonis, Teed, Wagner, everybody all the way back to Pahutski, who he could be kind of saving quite a bit of fuel back there. He's just kind of putzing around while everyone else is going to kind of come around and rejoin him at 80% power. They're not going to push it all the way around, and they're going to delay another lap here.
Everybody's coming past the pace car. Everyone's going to get their spots back. We're still, looks like Pahutski still has a black flag that he's going to have to serve. And I believe he can't serve that on the green flag. I believe he has to go around one lap.
Yes, he can't.
He doesn't serve it on the green flag, because then that'll cause even more confusion.
That would actually he could, but I think you're right. I think he could, but he would really slow and bind the field up. So unfortunately, etiquette says he should probably take the green flag and just duck to the inside.
Seems his black flag has been cleared.
Okay. It has been cleared on timing and scoring, so he is going to be our leader.
Definitely a deserved black flag, unfortunately. So I'm not sure about this call, but we'll have to see what the admins decide later on. But it looks like now Pahutski will be our leader at the green flag.
Hey, if you like what you see here and you want to be a part of it, you want to race in the Dark Horse Racing Series, the car is free, the league is free. All you need are the tracks and the drive. There's an invite to their Discord. It is in the description, and start there to find out more or to sign up if you'd like to be part of future races here in the Dark Horse Racing Series. Here is the schedule for the remainder of the season. We only have 2 more races to go after this. It's New Hampshire, our last short oval of the year, and then we wrap up at Indianapolis. We have only 1 race for all of August, 1 race for all of September, and then the final race in October, and that is it. So starting at our next race, and really kind of at the end of this one, we're going to start really paying attention to the points and seeing who are going to be those, I guess, last 4, last 3, last 2 drivers that are going to be kind of in that championship run into the last couple races of the season. But there you see September 21st, New Hampshire, October 5th in Indianapolis, and that rounds out Season 8 here of the Dark Horse Racing Series, presented by the Joy of Driving. Here we're getting ready to go. Green, this time by Pahutsky, inherits the lead. He's your leader. Stouffer is second. Povolonis is third. Teed is fourth, and Matt Wagner is fifth. And good old LGN, who's had himself a bit of a rough race, he is back in sixth.
You know, we haven't really talked about, through all this yellow drama, what the strategy change has been, because if we're going about 42 to 44 laps, everyone pitted on lap 40. With some caution, that does help out a little bit, but there is a chance that the fuel tank might be a little bit in jeopardy then. I don't think that you can really, now that I'm thinking about the 80% fuel tanks, it's very difficult to do 42 laps here without some fuel saving. So I think that these guys still might have 2 more stops left, maybe a splash to the end. But I haven't driven this car in quite some time here in Michigan, so it is quite possible at the same time that you really could squeak out. But on these big ovals, I find it very hard to believe that these cars can do 40 plus laps on a full tank of 100% fuel, let alone 80. So we'll have to see how it goes. Maybe I just want to kind of make things a little more interesting and say, hey, these guys really can't make it to the end from here. But we'll have to see if that actually comes into account here in this situation.
Stouffer now has the lead. Pahutsky up top. Charlie Teed in the second spot in the middle. Teed looking for a win here in his series. He's one of the co-admins.
Trying to figure out, everyone's talking on the radio right now about the swap draft situation and figure out who's going to lead and do what. And now we got a situation again where we have a front pack that's a little more organized. We have some cars kind of shifting around in the second group here. Same players in that second group as the last time the second group was there. So let's kind of see what happens here.
That lead group there, it's Stouffer, Pahutsky, Teed, Povolonis, Wagner. Stouffer with wins here in the series. Teed has 1 career win. Wagner has win here in the series. We want to keep the 7. Ooh, yeah, we want to keep that middle group.
I just thought Vitor got completely shut out all over again. The poor Vitor has been hit into the wall once, and now he was just trying to mind his own business, and some faster car just came and swept him right away. And I feel bad for poor Vitor at this race. He's like, what do I have to do to just drive?
He is getting teamed up on, and he normally has at least another car or 2, sometimes more in the lineup that are his teammates from Brazil, and he's the only one to show up today. So he is fighting solo for the Brazilians, and it's like a big handicap match right now for him. He is getting muscled out no matter where he is going right now on the racetrack.
You know, these cars have so much downforce that there is just such a closing speed, especially if you're doing any sort of lifting whatsoever, that you really can't do too much of it, or else you find yourself just getting completely swamped by everyone. So it's such a balancing act between, hey, I want to sit in the draft, and hey, I want to fly by and pass 3 cars in one corner, which you can do. But it does seem that everyone's really kind of just going for it at this point. Not a lot of deciding who's going to be the leaders of the pack and who's fastest and who's not.
Wags led a little bit there, but he goes back to 4th. And you're right. I mean, these cars are pretty well trimmed out, but they still produce a ton of downforce, and they have a ton of drag with all these extra pods and side pods that were on this generation of car. 4 wide at the line.
Vitor is pitting.
4 wide at the corner. So Vitor coming in after 32 laps. This could be a scheduled stop for him. This would get him into the 75 to 80 range, somewhere in there. Oh, and he missed his mark, so that's going to cost him.
I'm actually very.
Oh,
we have
and
another
there's a contact with our leader. Our points leader is involved. We got Mark Amini in the inside grass. He's flipping up and side down. He's now on pit road. Murphy's now sideways, but he is still rolling. He's going to still be able to execute the fast repair. And it looks like Luis Gonzalez Nunez was involved once again.
I hope we have the pace. Another incident at turn 4, another pace car situation. So let's hope that everyone's kind of stopping right now. No one's speeding up too badly here. So I think this will work out, and we don't have to have this extended caution situation going on again.
Go back and watch that again. I think Mark didn't know Mark Amini was there, possibly. Go back and watch it a little again. Or Mark Amini came up on him. We can go back from, I think, Gary Lovern. Gary Lovern's, I think, in a new paint job. Or at least, if not the correct paint job as normally I see him in the VOR car. But let's go back a little bit further. I think Gary Lovern has the best position for this. And there you see in front of it what happens. And does Mark Amini come up? Well, you can't really see from AJ. AJ's there. Let's go from AJ Slaughterbeck's point of view. And yeah, this is a better point of view right here, AJ. So you got Mark Amini to the inside with the green rims. 69 is Murphy. And does Mark Amini just get bad air from Indy? That might be what happened.
Yeah, it's quite possible. I believe, yes.
So here's the situation, and this is something I don't have on the overlay, and I don't know if I can get this or not, but we don't have a lot of leagues where we have a fast repair anymore. It's kind of one of the few leagues we still have a fast repair, but we do have a column in timing and scoring that tells us the situation with fast repairs. Povolonis has not executed the fast repair. Kirkenbauer is now second. He has not executed the fast repair. Turner Johnson, Wags, Stouffer, Teed, Bahutsky, Schaus, Heisong. None of those guys have used the fast repair. The highest car that's used the fast repair, and we saw very early in the race, is Bahutsky when he did that barrel roll. He is now, he's used his fast repair, so he's got to tread lightly still for more than, well, let's see how much we have a little bit more than half the race still to go. So he needs to still tread kind of lightly out there. Joe Mo in 11th, coming to pit road right now, looking to tip top off. Probably not a bad move, just to kind of filter on back to the back of the pack and just keep everything in front of you. Joe Mo has not used the fast repair, but everybody else has. If I've not mentioned their name, they have used the fast repair in some form or another, and we're not even to the halfway point, Andrew.
Yeah, I actually do want to finish the thought that I was making right before that incident of, as I'm creeping into some of the radio conversations with some of the drivers, I have to say that I'm just very entertained by everyone in that second group complaining vocally that no one seems to be working together to get themselves up front. And it seems like everyone in that second group at one point or another has chimed in saying, let so-and-so work with so-and-so. And everyone says, okay, that's what I'll do. And then next thing you know, 4 people pass them. And it's always the mark of a racing driver to say, I want to be the leader to move the pack forward. And unfortunately, sometimes you always have, especially in a group of 10 to 12 drivers that are sitting in the pack, some people that either A, are not listening to radio chatter, or B, saying, I'm faster and I want to be the first car that catches that pack, so I make sure I have the best draft to be up to them. So, I think at this point there's a lot of frustration going on in that second group of drivers, and let's hope that we can really get this tamped down so we can get a nice green flag running here.
I think if we do get to the point, and Turner Johnson is just absolutely sticking the nose under, who's in front of Turner? That was A.J. Hobson, who's just down in the order trying to get back on the lead lap. AJ Hobson 1 lap down, Vitor 1 lap down, Gary Lovern 1 lap down, Mark Amini 1 lap down. So they're all racing for the lucky dog for our next caution. But if we could get to a green flag pit stop, this will separate the field a little bit and make some of these packs a little less packy, to use bad grammar.
I don't know if that's necessarily the case, because you feel like you might lose the car ahead of you, but if you have two other cars that pitted around you, you can easily use somewhat of a draft to catch back up. But you're right, it could break things up more than we have it right now. So looks like we have another Group 1, Group 2 situation going here.
And that's just as a result of not a good restart. Schaus to the inside, taking a shot there. And he is around. Teed slides down in front of Stouffer.
The thing with these two groups is that because of everyone shifting around the grid so much, you're working with a different person seemingly every single time we do one of these runs. So it's almost like if you have two solid guys that were just stuck in 7th or 8th place that could work together to bring the whole pack forward, that'd be one thing. But next thing you know, the guy that was in 8th is now in 3rd, the guy that was in 9th is now in 15th, and you really can't get any partner consistently that wants to work with you to get their way to the front.
I think at that point, if I'm having trouble, and what I would do if I was having trouble finding someone to work with is just I want to get into a group and make 4 wide again going into the corner. Stouffer, Schaus up top, and also involved there we got Turner Johnson and Gary Lovern. As I just want to put myself in a group and make myself predictable. I want to hold a line, pick a line. Whoa! Turner Johnson takes Stouffer all the way down to the white line in 3.
And now you can see visually why this isn't necessarily working out. And these guys can't make any progress when we go 4 wide into turn 1 and then someone throws a block onto someone into turn 3. It's just some people are interested in moving forward and some people are not.
I just would want to
Something
be.
That some new folks in this league need to learn.
Turner is in the inside of Schaus. They're kind of feigning a little bit of a side draft off one another. Get close, pull away, get close, pull away. They're just waiting for netcode to happen there. Just
that
be careful,
very
guys.
Close
very close. Yeah, very, very close.
Johnson.
They're still doing it. I'm
afraid someone might get turned here. Let's hope everyone just takes a breath, falls into line, and let's get ourselves keep going.
Yeah, I think I just want to pick a line and try to become predictable and wait for things to kind of settle out.
Right now, Povolonis and Indy are probably in the best spot they can. They have 2 folks that are just the last cars on the lead lap, essentially. If they could just stay behind them and use them, well, it doesn't seem like they're looking to do that, but if they could stay behind them and use them to push themselves forward, then they really can. There's no need to swap drift. Just let Vitor just run the bottom line there and just follow him.
Yeah, just follow him. We know Vitor's fast. We know AJ's fast. And, maybe they just feel like they're being held up a little bit. But I think if they just got organized, I don't think they really know how hard that group behind them is racing. They got organized. Maybe they could pull away. But that second group's now starting to reel them in, as well as the third group is getting ready to join the second group.
Charles Teed and Turner Johnson had some more contact out of turn 4. Turner Johnson's now had contact with 4 or 5 cars in the last couple laps, and it's time to just take a step back and let the folks ahead of you do their thing. And if you just hang on to their coattails, you'll be up there in no time. Schaus comes through the middle there. Contact with is that Gary? No, that's Stouffer actually. More cars are coming into the second group here, and we have more cars on the bottom. They're surging forward. It's Gary, it's fun to watch, but I can understand why these drivers in these cars are very frustrated right now. Going 2 and 3 wide in the second pack again. The bottom line seems to really be working, and that could be a byproduct of these cooler temperatures. So if you really want to make a move anywhere, you really want to be down low and not let everyone go beneath you if you're on the high side. We have a car being turned in turn 2. I think
Pahutsky.
Everyone somehow got through that.
And Luis Gonzalez-Nunez is way down on the apron, and he's trying to get back up, and he does just in the nick of time. But that was Pahutsky. Let's see what happens there with Pahutsky in the middle. And that's with one of the Dark Horse Racing team. I think that was Teed. He gets a little bit of a touch.
Pahutsky's in the wall at pit in.
Oh, and Turner Johnson just gets a side, smacks him as well, and then almost into the side of Wags. But wow, what a catch.
Into pit lane now with a broken left front wheel. He had contact with the wall entering pit lane.
This will be his use of the fast repair, and also stopping a little bit early.
I believe he was trying to enter pit lane and got a little bit of that apron, and it just turned the car around, and he couldn't save it. Husky's going again, so yeah, probably use the fast repair there, but he's going to be well back. Look at this front pack, though, now, Gary. It's about 14 cars deep, so it must have worked a little bit. Two by two now. We're a little bit more orderly than before, but going down the front straightaway, it looks like we might have that bottom line is the best line to be on.
And the sun has gone behind clouds. Here's the weather. The track temp has come down to 78, ambient 67. So that is just encouraging these cars, temperature-wise, to race even harder.
I'd say the car on the bottom that I'm watching the most that's making the best use of time is probably AJ Schlotterbeck. He's pinned himself right to that white line. He has not moved for laps and laps now, and he is surging forward every single time he goes through the corner, especially these cars on the high side. AJ's found something on the bottom there. It's making work.
Murph's right back in the battle there. In fact, he is classified as your leader. And he would love to enter. He would love to enter victory lane tonight, and he would be the 7-for-7 driver to start this season to go to victory lane. He's already been in victory lane once. He cartwheeled through the front stretch and ended up there real quick.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those situations that you'll remember forever. And Murphy and I joke often about how often he winds up on his lid. So let's hope that does not happen again. Or maybe he wants to show off just because I'm up here in the booth, Gary. But, yeah, it looks like a lot of these drivers now, I've seen that bottom line working as best they can. More drivers have joined the bottom line, which has pushed AJ back to 7th place now. Again, we have a bunch of these cars up front that are a lap down or close to being put a lap down. So position-wise, AJ is a little bit farther down. We have a car being turned on the back straight.
As we have an in-car here, and that is A.J. Hobson again. He's got to be feeling it today, and he is damaged, and this is going to be some work that's going to take a little extra time on pit road, as also Teed now. He was involved, and let's go back in time as we were racing on board with Indy Kirkenbauer. Wow! As Pahutsky comes through that zone like he's on a qualifying lap. But here we go. Okay, Teed, innocent victim. AJ Hobson, I think it was contact with Schaus.
It's hard to pick a favorite here, Gary. Everyone's kind of driving every line on the track, and it's very difficult to find someone that's able to pick a spot, stay there, and wind up going through it. Looks like Schlotterbeck actually is pitting now. It's a little on the early side. He wasn't collected in any incident, so interesting strategy call by Schlotterbeck, the number 00 here. I believe we have more cars that are going to be pitting next lap, so maybe it's time to do some green flag pit stops, which we've been waiting for. I believe Povolonis might be coming in this lap. Gary Lovern's coming in this lap. That's going to be 51 laps to the end, so that's a tough haul there.
I think that they're going to have to split it in half. I think just go 25 pit and then finish up with a 26er or something like that.
So maybe they weren't telling us the truth so much about the 40-lap stints here, Gary. Is kind of what I was alluding to before. take
watching Povolonis on pit road. Yep, and we're going back to Murph, who now is our leader. He has a bunch of cars around him that are trying to get back on the lead lap. Forsyth is now 1 lap down. We also have in that battle, in that group of cars, is Vitor, who is now on the lead lap. So Vitor definitely wants a caution at this point.
So I believe you were mentioning that there were some cars that were on that off strategy. So these could be those cars that did not pit, I think, on the 3rd caution it was.
Yeah, these all pitted at lap 55. They're 21 laps into their stint. And the next car that's at a different schedule is on pit road right now, and that's Indy Kirkenbauer. He went 35 laps on that stint, 36 laps on that stint, so he is down and away. So now we're kind of in that weird period that I think really if they get to 100, then pit at 100, and then you should be good to go from there. Problem is, at the end of that run, and we've seen one thing's for sure with this car. It's universal. Every track, everywhere with this car. Fresh tires reign supreme.
Absolutely, Gary. That you're right about that, and you're also right about another thing, that the green flag stops have broken up this field a little bit, and that front pack that was all kind of running very, very close to one another has now moved to about 2x2, maybe a little bit more form than a 2x2 scenario here. This front pack has definitely found a group that works together well up front, and I think that they could probably make it if they want to get to around. I don't know if 100 is going to be possible, but we can go to like at least lap 90.
Yeah, I think these guys right here are just content to let. Well, first of all, we got 2 teammates up there. We have Forsyth, and right behind him is Stouffer. They are teammates. They are content to work with one another. I think everybody's content to just let Vitor stay on the bottom and lead as long as he has pace, and they'll just stay right behind him and get benefit of extending this run as far as possible. I do think you'll start to see now, as they see these laps tick down, more cooperation in this lead group.
Yeah, you look at this group that's right behind the leaders with Matt Wagner, Yari, Luis Gonzalez-Nunez, and Jeff Haisong. They're all kind of staying in a nice single line, not really fighting each other too much. 2 cars are doing the swap draft situation, and if they continue this, they might be able to track that front pack down. But it looks like they're getting closer and closer to that next pit stop that will probably break them out a little bit more. I believe Mark Murphy is coming in next lap.
All right, well, we'll get the camera.
Next one to blink.
Yeah, we'll get the camera on him, and this is going to be quite interesting. Well, actually, he's got himself in the position. So really the person that needs to be heads up here is Anderson, who is in this lead pack, Eric Anderson in 4th, because Mark's going to come off the banking here at 220 plus. And at the closing rate, nope, he goes an extra lap.
Might have been just a mispissed call. Maybe we'll see if he comes to the next lap. But otherwise, yeah, this next group is probably within the next 10 laps going to start to file in here. Maybe Mark found it to be a little bit unsafe, didn't trust the car behind to come in. Let's see if he comes in this lap. Looks like he's staying out another one. So it looks like these guys are extending it a little longer than they wanted to, and that could also just be a byproduct of seeing the cars behind them and the closing rate of speed and everything like that. It's very difficult to kind of pull off, especially when everyone's hugging the white line, yellow line, as they have been doing much of this time. But that Matt Wagner group has caught that front pack now. Looks like Luis is going to get into that draft envelope, and now looks like Murphy's coming in along with Eric Anderson.
And he needs to slow down, and he really kind of came in with control, and as soon as he locked up the brakes, kind of lost control, but he did get it under the speed limit. How much time did he waste there? We don't know. We'll find out. We're following him on pit road right now as he's working his way down to install. Also on pit road is also one of our leaders, Anderson. So Anderson is going to want to do a fast stop there in the STP Dallara. Next
lap, Vitor is coming in, so he's going to fall that lap down again Unfortunate for Vitor there, but if he has a good pit stop, he might be able to come out at the front of that pack again.
And here's
see Anderson and Murphy coming out.
Here's LGN. He is on pit road. This is a scheduled stop for him.
Still too early to make this on this last stop here, Gary, so we're going to see them come down one more time for a splash. I believe Wagner is the next one that's going to bite here with Marcamini. Ooh! Forsyth also with a very, very late call there. I hope he makes that pit speed limit.
Yeah, we'll watch again as Forsyth trying to. Oh, as he gets on the brakes, he twitches big time. Look at that! He power slides onto pit road.
Craig Forsyth, black flag.
That is 100% a black flag right here. Even in slow motion, you can kind of tell that he kind of cruised over that timing line a little hot.
Wagner also blew through his pit box, so that's not helpful for his cause.
More coming to pit road. We got Peterson, Schaus,
cars coming in.
Brubacher, Heisong.
You know, with all this chaos we've seen, Gary, it's remarkable to see that when it comes to pit stops and the very tight traffic situation that you have to deal with when you're coming in, that everybody's coming in nice and smoothly in this case.
We're watching everybody lining up on pit road.
Stouffer is the leader at the moment, and
Schaus coming off. And Schaus is leading this group. Stouffer, I don't know where Stouffer is. Oh, Stouffer's on pit road. That's where he is. And so now he's down and away. And how is he going to cycle out with these drivers? He pitted at lap 88. Still going to have to stop again. Here comes LGN leading this next group, full head of steam at the start-finish line. Murph goes to the inside. Stouffer's going to be on the inside. There you see Stouffer coming up the speed on the inside, hustling. He's going to come out in front of everybody, but everyone's going to have a full head of steam. And look for Murphy going below the white line to get the draft. He has the draft. He is hooked up, and he's going to get him in turns 3 and 4.
Watching this pack that's just entering turn 3 right now, Gary. It's a huge pack at the bottom part of the top 10. They've all found each other, and our postulate of trying to figure out if the cars are going to break up during the pit stop cycle, well, it looks like they just got even closer together here in this case. We got about 10 cars covered under a blanket.
Well, that says to me that these guys have actually worked on green flag pit stops and tried to maximize getting on pit road fast and getting off of pit road fast. So props to these guys. Normally that's where the separation happens in these pack races. You always find a group of guys that get on the pit road and maximize that stop, and then you have others that kind of come on conservatively and maybe lose time, and that's how the big gaps open up. But it looks like these guys all today, they brought their A-game coming to pit road, didn't they?
They absolutely did, and it shows when you see that there's only one pit stop speeding penalty that we saw there, and that was just kind of maybe like a last-second call. It wasn't really meant to be that way, but that second group that Povolonis and Charles Teed is starting to swap draft with, it looks like they may actually start to catch that front group. So we might have everyone back together yet again soon. You definitely see this pack has those guys that are just like, okay, you go ahead and you swap draft, you do whatever you got to do. There's not that mad dash of cars that are trying to rush to the front. Wagner might be kind of close to the draft range. If not, Charles Teed's going to come and take the spot down the back straightaway into turn 3 and perhaps
yeah, Wags is right at a second, just right below.
Of course, when you get close enough and you know that you can snip the draft if you do it the right way, it's like I want to be the first car to get it so that no one swap drafts me on the next lap and then I lose the spot. So I think we're getting very, very close to that mark right now. They're still kind of settled out at the front. It looks like Mark Murphy and Schaus are still running the pack. Here comes LGN to take second place.
Now now this next group, WAG 7/10. So he's right on the border. It's about 6/10, give or take. Atmospheric conditions are making things a little bit easier, and he's getting the big run off the corner, and he is there.
Not 7/10 anymore. Wagner's going to move into, he gets by 2 cars in one corner. Looks like he's going to be able to get that pass done.
He does.
Slides up, gets it done. Christopher's let him in there nicely, and now looks like these 2 packs have come together again. So we're going to be back to our old ways back from 90 laps ago.
Luis Gonzalez Nunez had Vitor on the high side. Vitor had a run, and Luis shut the door. So now we're in a period now that I know Vitor wants to get his lap back. I know he wants to get his lap back. Really, the person that he's competing the most against at this point is really Teed, because if Vitor gets up there and causes a wreck, that's not ideal for him getting back on the lead lap.
Well, of course, you also just have to be the first car lap down and get the lucky dog as well. So
yeah, all he needs to do
up front.
Yeah, all he needs to do is stay ahead of Teed, and that will guarantee him that spot. So he is racing Teed. That's to his high side.
Let's take a look at everyone's side pods here, Gary. I'm trying to thumb through and see if everyone's kept their floors nice and clean. We've had a lot of fast repairs, so I imagine everyone's pretty clean, but let's take a look through the field here. It does look like Matt Wagner's, I think his floor might be okay. It looked a little banged up, but I think it's just the way the light was shining on it. Podsky actually coming to the pits again, so.
Whoa, Schaus, big run in the middle. We go 4 wide, and he almost ended up in the inside of Wag's car. And how he avoided it, great job. But there are points in this racetrack, either these guys are lifting a little bit, and it's like when you lift here, it's like hitting the air brake. You're not hitting real brakes, but they produce, so much drag. It's like hitting a brake. But there's such a head of steam that before you know it, you're on top of the guy in front of you, and you just crack the throttle just a tick.
You have to know what everyone around you's goal is. There's a lot of people like Vitor that are trying to get to the front, so they're going to be pushing very hard. Someone like Jeff Hysong or AJ or even Eric Anderson are just kind of like, okay, I'm going to be here ready to take advantage if anyone does anything wrong. So those guys tend to filter towards the back, but then they don't want to lose the pack so much that they fall so far back, so they kind of have to surge forward again, and that's kind of what this big rotating idea is, and that's what causes these incidents.
We're coming up to lap 100 very soon. Once again, if you're just joining us, this is P1's broadcasting coverage of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by the Joy of Driving, coming to you from Legacy, Michigan International Speedway for the Joy of Driving 250. We've now completed 99, coming up to 100 laps of a scheduled 125. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you'll miss out on the next race. The next race for us here on P1 will be... Yep, there's a car into the wall. Stay off it, stay off it, stay off it, and that is Teed, I think.
I'm not. I think that was the mega netcode situation.
And how he got forgiven, I don't know.
Oh no, actually he did. He got hit the first time by Vitor, and then I believe Povolonas finished him off there. I think everything on his car, got replaced though. Sorry, Gary. You can continue.
That's okay. He got forgiven big time as you see everything snap back into place. The next race for us here on P1 is Week 11, Round 11 of the iRacing IndyCar Open Series from Milwaukee. Coverage starts this Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't miss it. Only 2 more weeks to go in the Season 3 Championship. IAR's Rashad Craig leads this week's ERL race winner Logan Edwards. And IIS challenger Alan Berteau is third with just a couple of races to go. Don't miss it. That's Murph and Jacob Collins on the call Monday night at 8 p.m. Speaking of Murph, he's our leader.
Teed almost got hit again in turn 4. Looks like
he went right up to the top. And he's 1 lap down. So, I mean, he's trying to get that lap back here and get his car in a position. that he could maybe make a run at this win. He's been fast all day. Fortunately, it's a little bit of bad luck.
LGN is hitting this lap.
Okay, everybody be careful. LGN goes to the apron. Now he needs to slow down. I think he gets there in time. I think he got there in time. He did. This is final stop for LGN, my broadcast partner Tuesday. No, he's not going to be my broadcast partner this Tuesday night. We're giving him a night off. Wags is actually going to join me in the booth. But you hear him on the Votive Indy Oval Series when we broadcast on Wednesday nights when we don't have Dark Horse. And that is my man, and he is on pit road getting his final stop done, and he's down and away.
We have more cars that are going to peel off, I believe, this lap. Yep, we have Schlotterbeck and Peterson, or Teed rather, the other car.
Yeah, Slaughterback on the lead lap, so Teed kind of gives him a little bit extra room, lets him on the pit road, gets straightened out. Slaughterback coming to his stall for his final stop. He's had of himself a good race. Your biggest gainer of the day, no surprise, is Chris Stouffer up 15 spots, Hysong up 14, or Indy Kirkenbauer up 12. No surprises there as the field comes through turns 4 with those cars on pit road. More cars coming to pit road. We see another on the bottom there. I think that might be Povolonis. Okay, so the mac and cheese car coming to pit road. The big cheese, Casey Povolonis, coming to pit road to get final service done. Povolonis started second up on the front row, been fast all day. Hits his marks, and this is final stop for him. 21 to go.
I believe Wagner is the next one. Yes, Wagner will be coming to pit lane this time. Peeling off one at a time. It's risky to do it now because the caution comes out, you're trapped. But if you do it at the right time and you have a better stop and you feel like you're a little bit better in the pits than the cars around you, then it's probably your best opportunity now to get out of this pack where you know you can't go anywhere and get that stop done. I believe Murphy is the next one that's going to peel off here.
Yeah, Schaus, Murphy, Anderson, Hysong, Yari, Stouffer. We expect them anytime. Vitor as well. And there we see Murph in the IAR entry. The red, white, and blue coming down pit road for his final stop. Our points leader coming into this race. And just by virtue of a lot of podium finishes and consistently good finishes, high in the order. That's how he got there, finishing races, not getting into trouble. Yet to have a win this season, would like to see one. Probably, if goes well, gets a good finish, he's going to finish as the points leader coming out of this race even. He has that big of a lead. His lead race, his
stop by Wagner. He has come out ahead of everyone in this field right now. He's the only car to do that right now. He's getting caught very quickly by them, but look at where LGN came out, for example, and Mark Murphy. They are well behind the pack. So what a whopper of a final stop by Matt Wagner. I almost wonder if he didn't take tires because there's no way you could pit and come out ahead of everyone here.
5.4 seconds.
That sounds like a fuel only to me.
Fuel only, yeah.
Now, at this point, Matt Wagner does not want a caution because if everyone's got fresher tires and he's stuck with something, will spell bad for him. But if we go green to the end, that's a genius move.
Big gamble.
But he also stays out as being on the lead lap. Let's also keep that in mind. If a caution were to come out, he would get waved all the way to the back around to the field, and he could choose to pit again for fresh tires if he feels like he doesn't have what it takes to finish on the tires he has, whereas everyone else will be a lap down.
Brubacher is the leader. Remember, Yari started kind of in that lead first 3 groups. He got up front. He had a great start, and then we watched him fall to the back. He's like, I'm going to stay out of, and then I'm going to stay out of all that trouble up there, and then he gets collected in trouble in the back. But he is now fighting for the lead. He is your leader, 24 laps into his stint. Schaus, 24 laps. Haisong, 24 laps. Stouffer, 23 laps. Vitor, 26 laps. They all have to come to pit road here, certainly probably within the next 5 laps or so. So they aren't going to quite make it the distance. They'll probably have to pit with about 10 to go.
Yeah, so who do we have left here? We have Yari, Eric, Jeff Haisong, Christopher. Yeah. So it looks like those are the remaining cars to pit, and at this point, these cars that are out late on this strategy want a yellow so they could trap part of the field lap down, get a free pit stop out of it, and be able to fight for the win with less drivers. The strategy with Wagner seems to be working a treat right now. He just has to suffer for another 12 laps on these old tires, and it's quite possible that he could find himself in a very favorable spot here.
So he is on tires that are really he stopped 6 laps ago, and he came in with tires that were only 20 laps old. So he was only on 26 lap old tires. It's not that bad, but when you throw another 13 on top of that at 220 plus miles an hour,
here comes Stouffer. We're going to see if Stouffer takes tires. At this point, you have 12 laps left. I imagine none of these cars that are pitting now are going to take tires unless they really are scared of the pit exit.
Be a splash and go. Let's see. He slides in, not going up on the jack, staying on the ground. Fuel only, down and away. Oh, a little bit of a twitch coming off of pit road. 3.9 in the box. This could matter. We will see when the field comes back around.
So for now, clicks off the pit limiter, and I don't know. I think this might be a good call from Stouffer. Stouffer is going to exit ahead of the fact, and now he's going to come up ahead of Steve.
But he's by himself. Now your leader is Brubacher, and now the strategies have been exposed. Do we see Brubacher come to pit road and do the same thing? And he takes even less fuel. Schaus, same thing. He needs even less fuel. Haisong, same boat, less fuel.
Oh, Vitor. Vitor is very slow on the
Yes,
track,
and we got a caution. Ooh, Indy. Oh, we got a caution. And let's see what happens. Did Vitor run out of fuel?
I think Vitor ran out of fuel. He was going very slow on the high line. Well, kind of the high line.
And, Slaughterbeck just gets right into him. I don't know if Vitor wasn't able to get on the radio and say I'm out of fuel and make the field aware of what's going on. But
he also had time to get to the bottom as well. There was a big gap there, and he just kind of stayed up by the wall. That's where the racing line is down the front straightaway. So
let's listen.
A little bit of perplexing one there.
Let's listen. I think he wanted to get to pit road and he couldn't. And now he's out. And he actually kisses the wall, sends his car down, and that's what kind of, the car is coming at closing rate. Didn't expect that to happen. And now, folks, it's a different race. It's Schaus, Brubacher, Haisong, all going to have to come to pit road. Stouffer is going to assume the lead now with 9 to go. And now Wags with that really good pit stop. He's going to get actually waved around. But if you're behind Stouffer, you're trapped. And I don't know if there's anyone behind Stouffer that's trapped right now. So I think everybody that did go a lap down through the pit cycle is going to get that lap back here with the wave around. And Teed might get back on the lead lap for the lucky dog.
Yes, I'm trying to do the math and the investigative work. I believe you are correct. So I think that's going to be 9 on the lead lap. 8. Teed is 2 laps down, so he won't get on the lead lap.
He's showing 1 lap down now, so that might be, yeah, he might not actually get back on the lead lap. We will see. He's in front of Stouffer, so I'm not sure how the lucky dog will happen. So, Schlotterbeck shown with the black or the meatball flag right now. Also, Vitor, I believe their days are done. It's just rough days for those guys. Probably feel like they have a bit of a target on them after this with 8 to go. This is our third of 4 250-mile races this season at the big tracks. Auto Club, Pocono, Michigan, Indianapolis.
Well, we saw what the ramped-up driver attitude was like at the start of the race. I hope we can get this thing finished under green and with a nice photo finish. Let's go, guys. I think we could do this.
But I think Stouffer's in a bit of a bad position because I believe those guys that did come to pit road, they could change tires if they wanted to. So those guys behind him all have new tires. And once again, what did I say? One thing that remains constant with this car that we always know is that new tires reign supreme. Fresh tires reign supreme. So can that be offset by the draft as everyone's getting the wave around? Stouffer's going to pick up the lead. And we have lights out on the pace car. Once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching P1's broadcasting coverage of round 7 of 9 of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by the Joy of Driving, coming to you from Legacy, Michigan for the Joy of Driving 250. We're currently, Chris Stouffer leads, and he has won a race earlier this season, so he could break that 7-for-7 streak. Schaus could break that 7-for-7 streak. Jari Brubacher, though, if he gets the win, would continue the streak. So we'll see. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. The next Sunday night race for us, we're actually off for the next 3 weeks here on Sunday nights, is September 14th when the Vote of Indy Oval Series resumes its Season 3 schedule with a stop at Legacy Texas Motor Speedway. Coverage starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't miss it. Want to thank the Joy of Driving for sponsoring. Also want to thank 4D Racewear, the sponsor of your leader right now. And also, don't forget about Sim Wrap Market. Getting ready to go green, hopefully for the final time with 6 to go. At 7 right now, we'll go 6 to go when they hit the line. Green flag is in the air. And we're going to see how it's going to be decided here for the Joy of Driving 250 at Legacy, Michigan. Big lead for Stouffer. And he does not want that. He does not want a big lead.
Yes, you could tell just by that restart he's scared of what's coming his way. So he has to hold off these folks for 5.5 more laps, and it's going to be very, very difficult with those tires. But he's going to be someone who prays for some mid-pack wreck on the next 2 laps or so, where he might be able to get an advantage. But with the field being as spread out as it is right now, we don't really have much packed up yet, and that's not going to come for another couple laps.
There's still time, and they're there, and all 4 of the leaders are together in formation through the corner, 4 wide, each one with their own line. Shouts to the outside, Brubacher staying behind the leader. Here comes Heisong to the high side. He's going to edge a nose out in front. They're going to go 3 wide through 3 and 4. Heisong is going to come out of this probably as side by side with the leader, but now that blow line comes back in. Here comes Stouffer with those old tires. He's down on the bottom. We're 3 wide across the start-finish line, 4 to go here at Michigan.
Yeah, but 2 drivers we really need to talk about here, both Jari and Jeff Heisong, both drivers who were very, very conservative in the beginning part of the race, just not trying to really upset the apple cart too much with all the drivers around them. And look what's paid off for them now. They're in a situation where they're going for a possible win here. Stouffer is doing a really good job on those old tires, though, on the bottom line.
Yeah, he has got that IRL line locked up on the bottom now. 3 to go. With ancient tires versus new tires. Schaus wants to get down there. He can't quite get the car down there to get the full draft. Now Haisong takes a peek to the outside. He will go 3. They will all go 3 wide into 3. Fortunately, that high line's going to stall out. Here comes Brubacher. He sees a hole. He's going to try to fill it. He's going to come up through the middle now. Now we're going to go 4 wide at the line one more time with 2 to go.
Stouffer is doing a magnificent job on that lower line. Just because I was talking about 25 laps ago or so, that bottom line surges. Even with the old tires, I'm actually very shocked there is no advantage with any sort of speed on the draft to take that high line going. Jeff is going to make it 4. Oh my goodness. This is just helping Stouffer win this race right now with these guys that are battling each other and trying to find their way on that high side.
White flag in the air. Here we go. 2 more miles to go here at Michigan and Dark Horse. And Schaus is just going to stay to the outside. He gives him a little bit of room. He fills the middle so we don't go 4 wide. Now he gets down and he's going to get in the draft down the backstretch. The last shot, he can't go underneath the white line. They're going to use the apron coming to the finish, I believe. Here goes Schaus to the outside. He gets a bit of a run. Can't quite clear him. He's just going to have to stick it out here and drag race to the finish. Here we go. Schaus, the defending series champion. Stouffer with already 1 win this season. He's going to go to the bottom. Here comes Haisong. Haisong is going to get it, and we continue the 7 for 7. Haisong wins at the line.
That is a bit of a dodgy way to get through there, especially on that apron. But it was going to be the top 4. How the top 4 was, it looks like it was going to finish how it was going to finish, but. Yeah, that's good. That must be the photo finish we were looking for, Gary.
And here it is again from the flag stand, what it looked like as Haisong gets down there. And he kind of rides the apron a little bit. And there it is. That is your margin of victory. 0.035.
I think, yeah, that's just seeing those cars that were coming through the start finish there, right from the flag stand. You could definitely see that the banking of the track has an effect there, and there were cars that were on the top and that one car on the bottom, and Jeff's like, well, let's see what happens if I try and straddle it. And anybody that drives these cars enough knows that straddling an apron is always going to result in some issue. So they almost got to the line without the wreck.
And, I'm going to bring up Haisong's stats here real quick because not only do we continue the 7-4-7, this is his first career win. This is a first-time winner this season here in Dark Horse. Third first-time winner, sorry. We remember John Martin's round 2, Eric Peterson in round 4. And now we got Haisong getting the victory.
So was it Schaus there in third?
I don't think. Let me see here. I think Wags has more than 1 win. Yeah, he has 8 of them here in this league, so he didn't get a first-time win. I just want to double-check my math on that one. And LGN has a previous win here. I'm sure of that. I know he tells me about it. Yeah, Lewis has 5. So this is a first-time winner this season for Jeff Haisong. Nice job, guys. And we go 7 for 7. So that really, the importance of that record is that it's only happened 1 time in IndyCar history, and ironically, it happened at the same time in the IRL, and it happened at CART. CART had the first 7 races won by 7 different drivers. IndyCar or IRL had 7 winners, first 7 races, and that's never happened before any other time in IndyCar history. So there's never been a time where we've gone 8 for 8. So are we going to see 8 for 8 now? And
let's do it.
Let's do it. And the points are updated, and Murph is still the points leader. But let's get in today's final stats here and final standings. Haisong with the win. He wins over Stouffer by 35 thousandths. of a second. 35 thousandths of a second. 0.035. Schaus finishes third at 0.18 behind. 181, excuse me. Brubacher, 2/10 behind. Murphy, a second behind. Right there with LGN, right? We're almost identical. Dead heat there. Wags in 7th. Indy Kirkenbauer, another top 10 finish for him in 8th. Casey Popolonis in 9th. Eric Anderson with a good finish in 10th. Then we got Joe Moe in 11th. Turner Johnson in 12th. Pahutsky, Lovernteen, your top 15. Peterson, Schlotterbeck, Forsyth, Guillerme, and Marcamini, your top 20. And there we see Hobson, Stearns, and Say Hey Lewis Hayes, the remainder of your 23-car field. All right, so we need to get some replays queued up here. And then we will get into the interview room. And the music will just repeat. All right. All right, let's get on in here. Get all the post-race stuff off my screen. All right, let's get on into the interview. I'm sure we got some maybe some happy people, maybe not some happy people that want to talk to us. Let's see. Do we have Schaus? We will bring Schaus down first. And for some reason, we're in the general channel, but we'll bring Schaus in here. Here he is. Eric Schaus finishes third. Not the finish I think you're aiming for coming to the finish line. Maybe a little bit of net code, but you do finish better than your chief rival in points at the moment, so you're able to gain a little bit on him. But talk about this race. It seemed like elbows were out for every lap of this every single lap of this race.
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy race, pretty brawly out there. People were not given space. People were shoving people out of the way. People weren't bothering to, what's it called? Jump ahead or, forgive me here. Remind me, what is it called when you try to catch the guys up in the front when they've broken away?
Leapfrog.
Soft draft.
Thank you.
Yeah, do the draft.
Yes,
yeah.
leapfrog. Yes, nobody wanted to leapfrog. We'd be one jump away, and then everybody wanted to start fighting at that point. So I did the same. About halfway through, I was like, what am I doing? This is a mistake. So I tried to get a little bit easier near the back half of the race and just save fuel. And then coming to the line there, I thought coming out of 4, I actually had Stouffer to the line. And then out of nowhere, Haisung just with a massive run shot it up there, and awesome win to him. That was great. I would have loved second. If we didn't touch, I think I might have had second on Stouffer, which would have been good points for the championship. But either way, it's a long shot. So I'm okay with third.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, Eric, I was going to talk a little bit more about that mid-pack swap drafting situation, but you kind of answered it. But a little alternate question there. Did it seem like a fuel save situation was a little bit better, or did you feel like if you were trying to lift too much to save fuel at the back of that pack, was it too hurtful to your pace and everything, and it was just better to kind of hang with the group and go at the speed you wanted to go?
No, you were absolutely fine saving fuel. You could be behind a couple people and half throttle it in 6th gear the whole way around the track and be fine keeping up with the leaders. Even if they're swap drafting, you could still keep up with them and just save some fuel. So in the beginning, it was really just I wanted to lead a lap. I wanted to do some racing and get a little, push people around a little bit, see what it was like out there. But then the second half, I had to tone it down. I was getting a little too aggressive out there.
Well, you brought her home in third, so it's a good podium finish, and a race that really could have gone multiple directions of all sorts of bad. Even with a fast repair out there, you are second in points, 20 behind Murph with 2 to go. Next is it's going to be a very tough New Hampshire. New Hampshire's always tough, and then we're going to wrap her up at Indy, which we know you've done well at. What do you think your shots are with 2 races to go to maybe defend your championship?
Well, 10 points a race. It's a long shot. It could be done. It really comes down to Murphy and how well he's racing those 2 days. I'm confident I can pull a top 5 out of either of those, but I'm also confident he can too. So if we're both top 5, it's not enough points. And yeah, long shot. It's a shame. It's a close championship, and I wish I hadn't missed 2 races. I wish we could have, had even points or something going into the last couple races. But good on him. He's raced well, and if he wins it, fair game.
Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone you want to say hi to before we let you go.
Yeah, thanks to you guys for the broadcast. I'm going to go back and watch this one for sure. Thanks to the guys at Dark Horse for putting on this league, and thanks to everybody out watching and everybody in the Discord with us chatting. It's a lot of fun.
Well, P3 for you here today. Still P2 in the standings. 2 races to go. The shot's still there. Still time left. Still laps to run. Congratulations. It's not over yet. We'll see you here next month when we go to New Hampshire.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Yeah. We'll just drag him down to that channel there. We'll let him decide where he wants to go back to. Let's bring in Christopher, as I got competing graphics on my screen here. Let's turn that one off. There we go. There's Christopher. And we'll bring Christopher into the chat here. And here is Christopher. Oh, so close, Chris, being that first driver to get a repeat win this season, but not quite. Looking to try to get 2 in a row at a racetrack that's very similar to the one you got your previous win at Auto Club. Coming to the checkered flag, but we knew you were kind of at a disadvantage. We saw what you did on that last pit stop, and frankly, if it stayed green, you were looking pretty good. But the way that this thing worked out, it did it in green, and it was going to be a drag race to the end on old tires versus everyone else behind you on new tires.
Yeah, I wasn't so worried about the tires. If it stayed green, I think I was golden. I just had to finish the last few laps out. I had enough of the lead. Unless they started swapping, I wasn't really worried. But when that caution came out, I knew it was going to be a battle. I tried to break the draft, got really, really close at one point to thinking I was clear, and they ended up catching me. The question in my mind, looking at the replay a couple times, was if I would have stayed up on the track, would I've I think I still would have finished second, to be quite honest with you. It'll just allowed that I just allowed that room for Jeff to just come flying through there and grab the win.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, Christopher, Mr. Michigan over here. I had it in my mind that you have a trick up your sleeve every time you come here. So my question for you is, how did those old tires feel on those last 5 laps? Did you feel like it might have been a little worse had you had taken tires, or was it about the same, a little bit better? Because obviously with the light fuel loads, it kind of equalizes the tires a little bit, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But how did it feel those last 6 laps compared to guys with older, newer tires?
Well, honestly, it didn't feel any different. I don't think the tire wear was enough of an issue tonight. I had we, like if I would have gone 2 full stints on a set, yeah, I think, it would have really mattered. But those extra few laps, I don't think I didn't really feel anything different with the car, to be honest with you. It was it was just positioning at that point, and I think he I forget who it was. It was on my outside. He got a really good run, and I know we were rubbing wheels, going through 3 and 4, coming to the line there, and then um, yeah, it's just just the way it played out. I mean, I'm used to being the person behind, having to get around instead of the guy leading, I guess, here at Michigan. But I got in last minute and started all the way in the back, so finished second. That's pretty good, especially with the way the racing was tonight. It was a lot going on out there. Let's just say that.
For sure. Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone want to say hi to before we let you go?
Shout out to my kids. Thank you for supporting me and letting me do this. And other than that, 40 Racewear. Make sure to go to 40racewear.com and check them out. We got the Sim Expo coming up here in September, so make sure to check that out. Sim Gaming Expo. Other than that, thank you guys up here in the booth and everybody for putting on the lead.
All right, well, congratulations on the P2. We're checking the points here, and you have moved up into the top 10. With still 2 races left, and it's pretty close all the way from about P6 down to P10. So, I mean, you might, with 2 more good finishes and some bad finishes and folks in front of you, get a top 5 out of this for not making every single race. So, not too bad. Not bad in the day's work, but P2 here today. We'll catch you at the next one next month.
Yep, thank you.
And we'll just drag him down there. We'll let him go to wherever he wants to next. And we will now bring in a very happy Jeff Hysong, who only led 1 single lap all day, Andrew. And I guess that's the only one that really matters at the end of the day. But there is his stat line. His career line here in the league, Jeff Hysong, 72 starts, no wins until today. So win number 1 on his 73rd start. Let's find him in there he is, and we'll bring him in here, and here he is. And in his 73rd career start here in the Dark Horse Racing Series, the former Lionheart veteran locks up his first win, coming to the checkered flag here at Legacy, Michigan, by the slimmest of all margins, threads the needle, gets the win. Congratulations. Finally got the monkey off your back.
Thanks, guys. I do apologize to Eric Schaus and Yari Brubacher on that one. Got on the bottom right there and got a little loose and thought I was going to run into Stouffer and overcorrected a little bit.
We'll talk about your race. I mean, one of the things that Andrew did talk about is, and maybe I'm stealing his thunder on his question here, and I'm sorry, Andrew, but that we just kind of noticed that you were very patient through this day. We saw a lot of drivers get very aggressive. The elbows came out. And we didn't really see the aggression from you until those last couple of laps where you were just trying to find any opening possible to kind of get your car up there in a position to win. The conservative approach kind of was the way to go here. But even then, when you try to become conservative, everyone else is really just, it seemed like was pardon the saying, balls to the wall out there. Crazy.
It was pretty insane. We had groups that would develop after restarts, and we would try and leapfrog to get back up there, and you'd get 3-4 guys up, and then nobody wanted to kind of align to catch the pack. So yeah, I didn't see any point in kind of racing for 15th place, balls to the wall on lap 50 when we're going to lap 125.
Exactly. Go ahead, Andrew.
I actually have 2 questions, and no, you didn't steal mine, Gary.
Okay, good.
Okay. The first one I wanted to ask was, watching you kind of sit in 4th place there with the last couple laps coming to the end of the race. What did you feel like you had to do to advance up to a situation where you were able to get that win? Was it just waiting for a hole to develop kind of in that threesome that was below you? Because you were doing a lot of the riding up by the wall, but that just wasn't enough speed and enough power to get down there. So did you have some sort of extra something planned, or was just simply waiting for that gap to open? So I was kind of just trying to wait until we got down to about 3-4 laps to go, knowing if a caution came out, I would need to be in the lead. Otherwise, it was all for nothing. So I was kind of trying to play that, and then it just became a 4-car battle of who was going to be in the lead. And then I noticed if I could hang back here and get a run, this will beat the 3 cars to the line. So all I needed was a window right there, and they gave it to me, and I took it.
Well, go ahead. Sorry, follow up.
Yeah, no. The other question I had was, I've called many races between Area 51 and Dark Horse with you in it. I've raced with you for a couple seasons prior as well, and I could definitely tell by your driving style, it tends to lend yourself to these kind of top 12, top 13 finishes. Do you feel like something like this is your strategy in most of these races, just to kind of hang back and let everyone beat themselves up and then pounce? Or is this kind of an opportunity for you to say, hey, maybe I should get my elbows out a little bit more and show myself up at the front a little more often? How does this relate to your driving style, and do you think that you might adjust something now that you got this win?
A race like this, I'm always just kind of hang back. I don't see any point in being an innocent bystander in one of these wrecks where guys are racing for 11th place on lap 30, like it's first at the Indy 500. It makes no sense to me. Other races, I have been trying to get my elbows out a little bit more, and it's kind of shown a little bit. I've made a little bit more contact with people than I have in the past, so that's kind of showing. But yeah, I have been a little bit more aggressive in the last few months than I normally have been, so kind of trying to get my elbows out, but also time it right.
Well, you get the first big win. That's the third first-time winner this season, along with John Martins, and then, of course, Peterson got his big first win, and now you're finally on the board and off the schneid, on the board and off the schneid with your first win. So I'm assuming that all this time you've had a lot of shout-outs that you've been wanting to get off your chest, so go right ahead. Big first win. You got the microphone. Go right ahead.
My big shout out is going to go to my dad. He's in the hospital right now. He had heart surgery and some things go on with that. So that's my big shout out right now. That's my hero. Good recovery for him. And then my oldest son for watching my youngest daughter, and then my wife's support and the kids. And yeah, that's about it. You guys are putting on such a good show. And then my teammates couldn't do it without them and all their knowledge.
Well, congratulations on the big first win. We will see you when we get to our last short oval of the season here in about a week. But getting that first win definitely feels good. And I often hear that the second and third wins come a little bit easier after the first win. So we'll see. But we'll see you in a month when we get to New England and New Hampshire there.
Yeah, it should be a good time.
We love that in and out livery too. Bring it back.
I'll have to throw it on there.
All right, and there is Jeff Highsong out. Andrew, boy, this race certainly had its moments, but that finish kind of made up for it, and another first-time winner this season. And out of all that, really, Mark still holds the points lead with 2 races to go and still hasn't chalked up a win.
Yeah, I'm so happy that we got a green flag finish out of that one. I was very skeptical of it just based on how the behavior of a lot of drivers were that first segment of the race there, but they put on a show for us, and they wanted to make sure that we had a photo finish, which is exactly what we got. So
exactly.
Kudos to all the drivers for, getting it all together and putting on a really great show there. And we got ourselves another first-time winner, so you can't really ask for much more than that.
So now we are 7 for 7. Can we go for what would beat a modern-day IndyCar record, 8 for 8 here in a month when we get to New Hampshire? We shall see. I do know that I believe the last time we went there, Murph had a real good race. He might even won that race. I have to go back and see that. But it's a possibility where that actually could happen. But very remarkable that showing the parity up and down the order here of the Dark Horse Racing Series. So a good job to everybody. And the fact that, we could put up 7 different winners in 7 different races really just kind of shows the quality of drivers that are showing up here on Sunday nights to race these old DW12s and put on a good show for everybody. So 7 for 7 is pretty remarkable in my book. And I don't know what you think, Andrew, but 7 for 7 shows a lot of parity that at any given day, as they always say in football, on any given Sunday, somebody else could stand up and get a win.
Yeah, I would love it if we go 9 for 9. That would really
be awesome.
Cement something in history, and us commentating this series here, that would be something to remember for sure.
All right, well, let's get on out of here. Give everyone back their Sunday night and the start of their week. So that's it for tonight. Once again, your podium here from Legacy Michigan International Speedway for the Joy of Driving 250 of Jess Highsong. His first career win in 73 starts. Christopher just misses, breaking that 6 for 6 streak. He is second. Eric Schaus tries to keep pace in the points championship. He comes home third. Join Andrew and myself again Sunday, September 24th. I'll put up the schedule one more time up on the screen here, just to remind everybody what we got left. September 21st. That's why another reason why I wanted to put it up. 24th didn't sound right. 21st for round 8 of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by the Joy of Driving. As the team of drivers head to our last short oval of the season, New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Coverage begins around 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that's 8:00 p.m. Remember, It's an all-new season, even though we're almost done with it. So just find the correct time for everything right here. I think we got a time change in that time period coming up here soon, possibly. If so, just check out everything here at youtube.com, at youtube.com/P1 Broadcasting, and we will make sure to have the correct broadcast time in your area for the stream. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not an easy one. So please help P1 with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know you thought of tonight's race. If you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. And if you're new, click subscribe. And while you gotta hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out on more of P1's other iRacing programming, including coverage of the IndyCar iRacing, the iRacing IndyCar Open Series at Pocono. Actually, it's not at Pocono. It's going to be at Milwaukee on Monday at 8 p.m. So that's going to be at 8 p.m. on Monday. So if you like IndyCar racing, definitely check us out Monday night when Murph and Jacob Collins brings you the action of the Oval Open Series on the Oval at Milwaukee. Tune in. Tonight's Michigan 250, the Dark Horse Racing Series, is presented by The Joy of Driving. Looking for entertaining sim racing content? We all are. So look no further than The Joy of Driving. Follow Mark Cohn's racing escapades as he battles for wins and avoids wrecks with cat-like reflexes, all the while providing commentary to make sure you laugh, cry, or do both. Follow along by subscribing to The Joy of Driving on YouTube or like his Facebook page at The Joy of Driving. All the links you need are in the description. Tonight's race has also been brought to you by 4D Racewear and SimWrap Market. Check out 4D Racewear's line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in today's description. Also check them out at the Sim Gaming Expo. Actually, the next time we will be on the air here for Dark Horse, it will be after the Sim Gaming Expo. So if you're coming to the Sim Gaming Expo, check out 4D's table at the Sim Gaming Expo. To learn more about the Sim Gaming Expo, go to simgamingexpo.com. It's September 5th through 7th in Schaumburg, Illinois. You can buy your tickets and to learn more at that website. Check it out, simgamingexpo.com. Link is not in the description. Just remember, simgamingexpo.com, and you'll learn everything you need right there. SimWrap Market is your go-to source for iRacing paint templates and broadcast resources. From clean base liveries to pro-level design assets, SimWrap Market has everything you need to build your brand on track. Visit simwrapmarket.com. Download, customize, race. Track cans for this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cans. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash Sim Cans. To learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook, follow them on X and Instagram. Links are in the description for business inquiries. To learn more about P1 and what we do, you can like us on Facebook, you can follow us on X and Instagram, and you can also check it out on Linktree. All of our links that we have to social media can be found there. All the links you need are in the description. So for Andrew Wood, everyone here at Dark Horse and The Joy of Driving, I'm Gary Gatto saying all thanks for watching, and all of our men and women serving in the military and its first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here September 21st in New Hampshire for the next race of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by The Joy of Driving right here on P1. Good night, everybody.